Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the video. I'd like to thank all my subscribers and watchers of my channel. I appreciate y'all and appreciate you sharing my channel and checking it out. Today I've got an interesting video for you. We're going to be discussing this thing right here. This wing logo is made by WickedWings Logos. A guy by the name of Craig Taylor had created this logo here for my glider, and I'm going to share a little info on how I put the logo on my glider, how it's a little different than what the manual states, and I think it's dependent upon the logo itself. Everybody's got a different way of combing their hair. Obviously, I got dreads. I don't need a comb, so different strokes, different folks. But I'm going to review this logo here and kind of catch you up. So stay tuned, y'all. Technology, catching up with it. There we go. I'm going to share the screen now. If you guys can see what I'm seeing here, basically the logo covered this entire area that I have in white, except for this area here. The reason why I don't have this colored in, I want to show you all this right here. This is a connection point. You do not want your logo or the backing paper or the transfer sheet to be touching anything that is a connection to the glider. Any connection point at all. You do not want it setting or pressing against it, because it will make your logo wrinkle a little bit, or your material wrinkle when you go to apply it, meaning that you'll have to probably peel it up a little bit to let it back down to get it smoothed out without any ripples, air bubbles, what have you. So I left that off to show you that there was a connection point right there where this was all connected. So I'll just doodle it in now, since you guys see there's a connection point there. So this is pretty much how my logo came. Now all this stuff here, because of the backing paper, it was white. I laid it across my glider, laid my glider on the floor, made sure that everything was stretched out the way that it was going to be stretched when it's inflated, meaning where the seams are, there was a little bit of pressure on the seams just to keep them open like they would be if it was inflated. So I've got the design right here, have it laid out where I want it. Basically what I did was I put painter's tape, put one piece in between the transfer sheet and the glider. So it's basically 2.5 inch tape. I put 1.25 inches on the transfer sheet, 1.25 inches on the glider. Went back and put another layer of tape over the tape and on the glider, and then another layer of tape on the tape and on the transfer sheet. So it looks like this. So basically you got 1, 2, and 3 pieces of painter's tape to hold this in place. After I applied the painter's tape, made sure everything was lined up, then what I did was I would cut between the letters and do one letter at a time. I kept all of this solid as one piece, so that way there's no ripples. It doesn't get out of line and all wonky on you. Keep that all one solid piece. You cut in between the letters, fold this letter over. The tape keeps it in line, so it doesn't slide anywhere. You can keep this P in line with the A and the rest of it by simply lining it up with the rest of the tape, making sure you have tension against it, and applying. When you pull the backing paper off, you're stuck with the letter button reverse right here on the transfer sheet. The transfer sheet is clear. When you go to lay this transfer sheet back over, back over towards the right direction here. Okay, that's a crappy arrow, so pretend with me that that's an arrow. But when you go to put this up like this, you'll be having it from the tape to the end. You'll have it at an angle like this, and you'll apply pressure this way. So you'll be putting your vinyl squeegee that comes with your kit. You'll be applying it right here, going this way, forward. Put it, what I did was I applied it in the middle of the letter, the darkest spot first, and then worked from the middle to the outside, getting all the material down flat and flush. Since this is a nylon material, this is pressure sensitive stuff, meaning you put more pressure on it, the more it's going to stick, the longer it's going to stick, and it's not going to go anywhere. So make sure that once you have this on there, you put a pressure on it. And the longer you keep that pressure on it, the better it's going to stay on your wing. After I did one letter, I did the next letter. And I did the next letter. By the time I got to this A, I had already did 3 letters. So I took a block of granite and laid it on the 3 letters as I was working on the other letters. As I moved from letter to letter, I moved that granite slab down and set it down again, picked it up, moved it over, set it down again, per letter on each shape. Now, as I was putting this on, all this stuff here is one solid piece that keeps it solid. When I got to this eye, where the glider was, I made this piece here and this piece here all one piece. Basically, I cut, I'll do this here to highlight this. I'll do it in purple just to make it faster, I guess. Maybe I'll keep that thin against that. Okay. Alright, so I made a cut right up here. I made a cut right up here. This was all one solid piece, okay? Now, what I had done after I made that cut, since this piece was attached to the tape, I put a cut right across here. So that way I could do that letter, have it lined up with all this, the glider will stay on the top. What I did was lined up the cut here and the cut here, put painter's tape on that to keep it together. So I put painter's tape right over this, okay, and this is going to be sloppy because I'm doing it with a mouse. So here we go. Put the painter's tape on here, on the transfer sheet itself. So that way when I peel the backing from this, you know, that's you don't need to worry about that. So we'll erase. Oh, shit. Well, anyhow, you get what I'm saying here. I basically taped this up and then flipped this over. Anyhow, so basically, you know, I peeled from here over to here. And since this was taped, it's not going anywhere. Stick it down, apply it really good, put the weight on it. Move from here to here, do the same thing, put the weight on it when it's done. Same thing here to here. When I put the weight on, I took the transfer sheet, the clear transfer sheet, got it off my glider and out of the way. I applied the weight directly to the logo on the glider to ensure that the weight is on what is going to be sticking on that wing. As you see here, I cut these sections out one at a time and just kept it lined up using the tape again as a solid line to keep everything in line and flowing with itself on this glider. That's pretty much how I did mine. How you do yours might differ, and if it does, that's okay too. So that's pretty much how I applied mine. Something that I had thought about was where the seams are going to lay. Things that I laid it across the seams, whereas Robert had put his along the seam. I put mine across. I did this for a number of reasons. One, I like the way that it's set across this cloud here. Kind of makes a 3D like design. It kind of looks like a part of the glider, which I really enjoy. The reason why I laid this the way that I did across was because there's only, I believe, 3 seams that the letters are actually crossing the seams, not counting the glider, the K, the N, and the L. The L was right on the edge. The N is right on the edge and crosses right at the top of the N. The glider, you know, there's 2 spots on the glider. Now, when I applied the nylon logo to where the seams were, what I did, and I'll use some white here, and it'll be a thicker line. When I applied this, where this was taped here, I applied from here to here. When I got to this point here, I took my squeegee and ran the squeegee this way with the seam to push the nylon down into the seam, because when it's inflated, what's going to happen is that material is going to shift to the side and it's going to pucker a little bit. I did not want to have a spot where the glider was going to pull apart from the logo or pull on the logo in any way. So basically I applied it so it was solid on there. All right, so my thoughts and opinions. Craig, I think you did an awesome job, man. You know, this is the logo that came on my wing, with my wing. And this is the logo that Craig had made up and sent to me. And I gotta tell you, Craig, you did an awesome job, man. I applied it the way I was comfortable. And for some folks, it may be comfortable to do it a different way. It just depends on the logo and where they're wanting to apply it. I applied mine different than the instruction manual, simply because one, it worked for me, and 2, I wanted to see if even screwing it up, I mean, not doing it right, if you could jack it up to the point where it's not going to look good. I took my time. Yeah, it took me a while, but it came out good, I think. It's pretty much level with everything else, and it looks like a part of the wing. I love it, man. So if you guys are looking for a Wicked Wing logo, definitely look up WickedWings Logos or Craig Taylor. So I'm telling you, he'll do an awesome job for you. When he sends it to you, the rest is on you. You know, take your time, apply it, put weight on it, fly it, enjoy.